Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello friends, we'll be discussing one topic of bank reconciliation statement which is known as methods of reconciliation. Now when we speak about methods of reconciliation, we are basically talking about in how many ways can we prepare a bank reconciliation statement. Basically, there are two ways that can be highlighted here. Now these two ways to be described can be called as without preparation of adjusted cash book and with preparation of adjusted cash book. So both of these ways revolve around one specific topic, that is preparation of adjusted cash book. Now what does preparation of adjusted cash book means is what we'll be explaining you later. But before that, let us explain you what does preparation or rather without preparation of adjusted cash book means. It means simple representation of cash book and passbook without making any changes into it, without looking into any adjustments that are given prior to preparation of cash book here. So just the balance that is given, take the start point of it. It can be either cash book or passbook, whichever is given. It can be a favorable balance, it can be an unfavorable or overdraft balance, whichever it is. Based on that, you have to go ahead, do certain plus minus as per the formulas that we have learned. That means representation of the correct book. Then the questions that you have to ask yourself, which entry will be first, or rather which book will have the first entry in case of favorable balance, or rather when we talk about in case of favorable balance, it will be where would be the second effect. That would be the question. When it comes to the overdraft or unfavorable balance, which book will have the first entry? These questions you ask yourself, and after that you go ahead and check as to what is the starting point given. Is it the cash book, is it the passbook? Then you make the representations like plus minus, and then you put down those formats or rather those adjustments into the plus section or the minus section, and accordingly figure out the balance. That is one way. Now this is one way where adjusted cash book hasn't been prepared. Now the second part, or rather the first thing that we have discussed here, we'll just highlight the pointers that we have mentioned here. Simple representation is what we spoke about. Favorable and unfavorable balance is what we spoke about. Starting point and end point is what we have to check. That means if we have to check the start point of is the cash book or is the passbook. So if the start point is cash book, end point will be passbook. If the start point is passbook, end point will be cash book here. The next is plus minus representation. That means whatever additions you have to do, whatever subtractions you have to do after figuring out what is the start point, then finalizing the answer, that is either it's a cash book or the passbook as the end point. Once that is done, your sum gets over there. This is the simple representation where you don't prepare the adjusted cash book. Now let's go into the second method where you have to prepare the adjusted cash book. Now when it comes to adjusted cash book, basically why is adjusted cash book prepared? We'll give you the reasons for that first. Now if the reconciliation happens once in a year or at the end of the year, there might be certain entries that are probably omitted, that are probably taken off the entry or rather taken off the books, and there is no record for it. In such a case, you have to prepare an adjusted cash book first. But in case if the companies or if the firms are making bank reconciliation statement every quarter or every interval or every desired interval, then in that case you need not prepare any adjusted cash book. Just like in this specific earlier illustration or rather earlier method that we spoke about, in that case they prepare bank reconciliation statement every now and then. But if firms or companies are making bank reconciliation statement once in a year or somewhere in 2 years, in such scenario, you have to go ahead and figure out what is the adjusted cash book. Now, what adjusted cash book basically involves is all the errors and all the omissions. Now, what errors do they include is what we have mentioned down here. Let's read it out. So, adjusted cash book basically involves two things. One is all errors. Now, what kind of errors is what we have mentioned down here? It may be an error of wrong amount. That means wrong amount has been mentioned there, or wrong amount has been credited or debited there, anything of that kind. Second will be dual entry. That means twice the entry has been passed in the same book. Something like that would have happened. Or over and underwriting of balances. That means the balance has been overcasted, the balance has been undercasted. Undercasted and overcasted means if the exact balance is supposed to be here, and if it is mentioned at a higher level, that is overcasted. And if it is mentioned at a lower level, that means it is undercasted. So in such a scenario, whenever you have to go through overcasting and undercasting, only these three kind of errors are supposed to be recorded. So make sure No other error is captured in adjusted cash book, only these errors, that is wrong amount or rather wrong entry. Next one would be dual entry, and the third one will be overcasting and undercasting or overwriting and underwriting. Only these kind of errors. Now after errors we come on to omissions. Now what kind of omissions are accepted here? Now the omissions are basically related to the passbook entries. That means entries that are already recorded first in passbook and have no entries in cash book. So basically that might be a bank charge which is directly mentioned in the passbook and we have no update about it until we go ahead and update the passbook. Next will be interest debited and credited by bank. That means bank passbook will have all these entries first because this is done or rather initiated by bank first and not by us. Next one would be direct receipt or payment by bank. That means third party receipt directly coming into your bank account, or a standing instruction directly going out of your bank account, or any such thing that is direct receipt or direct payment made by the bank. And the last one would be dishonor of checks or bills. So only these specific kind of omissions are recorded. Apart from this, anything comes into your question isn't supposed to be a part of adjusted cash book at all. So make sure only these details are captured while preparing the adjusted cash book. Now whatever balance you get of the cash book after mentioning all these omissions and errors are being rectified, whatever balance you get has to be taken for bank reconciliation statement. Means that can be either the start point of preparation of bank reconciliation statement apart from the balance that is already given. So whatever adjustments you do and whatever answer you find out, that will be the start point of bank reconciliation. So that is when you complete your adjusted cash book and then go ahead with preparation of bank reconciliation statement. We'll understand more details about it when we practically solve a problem related to this one. So this is all what we had when we had to speak about preparation or rather methods of reconciliation. Basically two methods. One is without preparation of adjusted cash book, and first one or rather the next one is after preparation of adjusted cash book. After preparation has certain details like errors, specific kind of errors basically, and omissions, only specific kind of which are supposed to be taken into consideration. Else apart from that any other thing comes into picture, please do not consider that, and then you can go ahead and finalize the cash book balance after adjusting all the entries, and then that can be used for preparation of bank reconciliation statement. Whereas the earlier method, that means without preparation of cash book or rather adjusted cash book, gives you a simple representation. That means start point, favorable, unfavorable, plus minus, and that's your answer. That's the only thing that you have to take into consideration. So this is what we had about in this specific method or rather this specific video talking about the methods of reconciliation. So thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned with Ekeeda and keep subscribing to Ekeeda.